Please Believe house. Oh, today is going to be huge. You're going to learn how to write a quadratic in Vertex Form. Wow. You don't even know what Vertex Form is, and you're going to find out. So a magical whiteboard appears, and let's start learning about Vertex Form. Wow. Okay, let's start rocking and rolling. Okay, on the note page, let me get on the right page first. Okay, here's our note page, okay? So, we're on the right paper here. Okay, so let's start rocking and rolling. Writing the equations of parabolas notes. Okay, how do you know when an equation is written in quadratic as a quadratic function? Really quickly, write down y equals 2x plus 1. Write down y equals 3x squared. Write down y equals, let's put 1/2 x plus 2. And let's write down y equals x squared minus 2x plus 4. Which one of those would be quadratic equations? Which one of those would be quadratic equations? The quadratic equations are the one with an exponent of 2, right? That exponent of 2 makes your linear function curved. This one and this one would be linear, wouldn't it? These would be quadratic, okay? So how do you know when you have a quadratic function? The equation has an exponent of 2. The equation has a largest exponent of 2. The equation has a largest, let me do that right. The equation has a largest exponent of 2. Calculus is the study of these quadratic equations, cubic equations. It's a study of the lines that curve, the speed of the curve, the motion along the curve, the area above and below, all kinds of cool stuff, okay, that your cell phones would not operate without these parabolas. How does the graph of every quadratic function look like? The graph of every one is a curve that opens up or it opens down. It's a U-shaped curve. We're going to talk in a little while on how to change the steepness of that curve. What is the standard form of a quadratic equation? You did this yesterday. Hopefully you know. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And hopefully you remember the c is the y-intercept, right? And the a makes it open up or down, right? If the a is negative, it opens down. If the a is positive, it opens up. That a will also be the steepness of the curve, and we'll talk about that soon. There's a second way to write a quadratic function. Wow. It's called Vertex Form. And it gives you more power. Okay, Vertex Form is y equals a, that is the same a, parentheses x minus h squared plus k. And then write this down. H comma k is the vertex. H comma k is the vertex. So remember when we graph traced to the vertex and found it, that vertex would be h comma k. Also notice the h is negative. Okay? Flip the sign when you put it in or take it out. Flip the sign when you put in h or take it out. Flip the sign of h. Let's just write that down. So when you put h in the equation or when you take h out of the equation, you will flip the sign because it's negative. The k is positive in it. So the k won't flip, but the h will flip. Just like you did in point slope when you did y minus y1 equals in parentheses x minus x1. Same thing, you flip the y and the x when you put them in. Okay, so let's go to here. This is not hard at all. Okay, your vertex is h and k, and your a value is 1. Now then write down y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. Write that down every single time. You're going to replace the h and the k and the a. Okay, so we're going to write down y equals, the a is 1, parentheses, x, the opposite of positive 5 is negative 5, and plus 7. This would turn into y equals x minus 5 squared plus 7. If you graph this equation and the standard form equation, it's going to be the same exact graph. Let's go to number 2. Number 2, write down h, k, and a. Then you're going to write down y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. The y won't change, so write down y equals, the a is negative 2, parentheses, that means the graph opens down, x, the h is negative 3, the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3, and the k is minus 1 in it. This right here would be the graph. Since we don't have a 1 for a, we don't have to rewrite it, okay? Let's go to number C. Okay, same thing, write down h, k, and a. Write down y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. Just keep writing that down. Okay, you're going to write down y equals, the a is 4 parentheses x. The opposite of negative 7 is positive 7 squared, and then k is plus 5. This would be the equation in vertex form. Ho, 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 ho. Keep going. This is not hard, is it? Okay, same thing. Write down h, k, and a. Then write down y equals, the a is 1/2. That means this curve is going to be flatter. It's going to be less steep. Parentheses x. The opposite of positive 1 is negative 1 squared. And then the k is minus 1. That's the answer. Ho, 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 ho. I forgot to write down the form. Okay, let's do that on the next one. Write down h, k, and a. Write down y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k, and then fill it in. Y equals, the a is negative 3 over 4. That means the graph's going to get flipped, and it's going to be a little bit wider than the regular graph, the parent function. X, the opposite of positive 2 is negative 2, and the k is plus 5. This is our equation. Piece of cake. We could type that into the calculator as is, and it would graph the parabola. And the vertex would be at 2, 5. You would have to trace to get the zeros, wouldn't you? Also, on this right here, the y-intercept, we do not know what it is. We know the vertex, we don't know the y-intercept because we don't have the c term, do we? Okay, that 5 is not the y-intercept. It is the y value of the vertex. Let's turn the page. Now then, on this right here, what we're going to do is we're going to graph this, trace, and find the vertex. Also, this number right here is the a, isn't it? That number right there is the a. So all we need is the vertex. We need the h and the k, right? H, comma, k. We need that ordered pair, don't we? So let's go to this. Let's go to the calculator. Hit the home button, then hit graph. If you have a graph there, hit delete, delete, delete. Now then, I'm going to start the graph like, hopefully you know this, menu, graph is 3, and we always, in Algebra 1, we're always going to graph a function. Okay? Now then, we're going to graph 3x squared minus 6x plus 7. So 3x squared, is it minus 6x? Minus 6x plus 7. Minus 6x plus 7. Hit enter. That gives us our graph. We're going to hit trace until we get to the bottom of that graph, aren't we? Notice this graph does not cross the x-axis. It would not have any zeros, would it? Just stuff like that you need to think of. So let's trace. Menu. Trace is 5. Not 2. Hit escape. Menu, 5. Trace, and then graph trace. And then we're going to hit the right arrow button until we get to the bottom. When we get to the bottom, it should say minimum, right? The minimum is 1, 4. So let's go back to the paper. 1, 4 is my h and k in it. So let's write down y equals, the a is 3, parentheses, x minus 1 squared plus 4. That is going to be which one? Right here, letter C, right? Piece of cake. Oh, 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 oh. That's more power. Oh, let's go to part 2. Okay, now then on this one, it is not in standard form, is it? So the x squared has got to go to the right. When you do that, the plus is going to change to a minus. I'll show the work. My pre-AP kids don't have to show the work there. So y equals negative 2x squared minus 8x minus 9. The a is negative 2 in it. So I know my a is negative 2. That eliminates this choice and this choice, doesn't it? Now then, I need to trace and get my vertex. And I'm just going to put the vertex here, okay? So let's go to the calculator. Hit delete. Think of something bad. Delete, delete, delete. Then hit enter. Then hit tab. Now then, we're going to type in the next equation. So negative 2x squared minus 8x minus 9. negative 2x squared minus 8x minus 9. Negative 2x squared minus 8x minus 9. I got that right. This graph should open down, cross the y-axis at negative 9, right? So the graph opens down. This graph also does not have a 0, does it? It doesn't cross the x-axis. Now then, let's graph trace. So menu, trace is 5, graph trace is 1, and I'm going to hit the left arrow button until I get to the top, and it should say maximum. So keep hitting that left arrow button until you trace to the top. It should say maximum, ding, 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 negative 2, negative 1. So my vertex is negative 2, negative 1. That means I'm going to have y equals negative 2 parentheses x plus 2 squared minus 1. Remember, the h is opposite, and that matches up to this one right here, doesn't it? Oh, that's more power. Oh, and then the last one we're going to do in the notes. This is horrible, isn't it? All the fun's gone. Okay, so on this one right here, we have to move over the 16 and the 9. So we're going to subtract the 16x, and then we're going to add the 9, aren't we? Okay, so the signs are just going to flip when you move it across. So y equals 8x squared minus 16x plus 9. The 8 is a, and this 9 is the y-intercept, but we don't need it in vertex form, do we? Okay, so we're going to graph this and trace to the vertex. First off, this one's wrong and this one's wrong, right? Because the a is positive 8 in it. Now then, let's go to the calculator. 8, and let me delete everything first. Delete, delete, delete. Hit enter. Then hit tab. And then we're going to graph 8x squared, 16x, and 9. So 8x squared minus 16x plus 9. Did I do it right? 8x squared minus 16x plus 9. That is typed incorrect. I'm going to type this in. The graph's going to open up and cross the y-axis at 9. Then I need to trace to the bottom of the graph. We'll have a minimum, won't we? Okay, so notice we can't see. It's like way up. But we're going to trace to the bottom. So we're going to hit menu. Then trace is 5. And then 1 is graph trace. Then hit the right arrow button until it says minimum. Ding, 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 ding. The minimum is 1, 1 in it. So we're going to go here, and our h comma k is 1, 1, right? So let's write it out. Y equals 8 parentheses x minus 1 squared plus 1. This is the h and k, right? Remember, the h flips signs, so it's going to match up to choice A in it. Oh, F-U-N, fun, fun, fun. Woo! Y'all, that is like, if we had a math taste meter, that would be like really good stuff. Wouldn't be as good as like a cinnamon tenderloin, but it would be good, okay? It would taste like really good, okay? Now then, let's go to your homework page. I'm not going to do all this because I don't want to eat all your Oreo cookies, okay? Just going to do probably one from each example. This right here is extremely important. And remember, the A's are the same A's, okay? And this number, the K, is not the C, is it? The H comma K is the vertex, right? And when you put the vertex in or take it out, the H will flip signs. Okay, so let's go to the first one. This is HK. Notice the K is 0. That means the vertex is on the y-axis. And the A is 5. So let's write down y equals A parentheses x minus h squared plus k. And we're going to plug in the A, the H, and the K. So y equals, the A is 5, parentheses, x, the opposite of plus 3 is minus 3, plus 0. And then you really don't need the 0, do you? Okay, so you would just have this. That is F-U-N, fun, fun, fun. Okay, let's go. I'm not going to take all the joy away from you. You're going to do that page. I'm going to do let's do number 9 because it's easier to graph, okay? So on number 9, right here, I know my A is equal to 1, don't I? Okay, this also, the y-intercept is going to be 0 in it. Now then, since I know my A is negative 1, that eliminates this and this, doesn't it? But I need my vertex, right? Now then, the C is 0 on this, okay? So the graph is going to go through the origin. Now then, let's graph this. So we're going to go to the calculator, delete, 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 hit enter, then hit tab, and then I'm going to type in y equals x squared plus 4x. So x squared plus 4x, hit enter, and now I need to get to the vertex, right? It's to the left in it. So let's go to graph trace, menu, trace, graph trace, and then we're going to hit the left arrow button. Notice it starts off at 0, 0, like I said, and we're going to keep hitting the left arrow button until it says minimum. Almost there. Ding, 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 ding. -2, -4. So let's go back to here. My HK is -2, -4. That means I'm going to have y equal -1, parentheses, x plus 2 squared minus 4. And that matches up to none of them. Okay? Technically it would be C. This needs to be a plus though. Okay? Wrong choice there. That was an error made by the publisher. Oh. We make errors all the time though. Okay, let's go down. Okay, I'm going to let you do these on your own. I'll make them in standard form first, and then you could do these. So on this one right here, we're going to move over the x squared and the 5. Y equals x squared minus 6x plus 5. I will let you get this one on your own. Y equals, everything's going to flip signs when you move it across, okay? You'll graph those and get the vertex and match it up, okay? Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Remember, you are amazing, you are created to do wonderful things, and you are awesome.